All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing great and you're having a wonderful day and a great weekend. And welcome to today's session. And before I get into today's sessions, I would just like to quickly introduce our platform, Positivity. So, Positivity is a Singapore headquartered mental health organization committed to making quality mental health care accessible and affordable for everyone. Our aim is to connect individuals with right expertise and creating awareness on the platform as well. And speaking of awareness, we are very delighted to have a great session today on the topic of, is your child struggling to express their feelings, a parental coaching session. And it is presented by our great speaker Jessica Budwani. And she is a qualified child and adolescent psychologist, and with a strong academic background in psychology and counseling. And she will be sharing her insights. So, without further ado, we are so delighted to have you, Ms. Jessica, and please do start the session.
Hi, thank you so much for the introduction. Okay, so I'll just share my screen and we'll start the session. Yeah, this is our today's topic. Is your child struggling to express their feelings? And it's a parental coaching session. First, I would like to introduce that I'm Jessica Putwani and I'm a child and adolescent psychologist, and I'm also the founder of Thoughts to Teens. And this is something about positivity. So, right now, just Shreya introduced everything that is mentioned over here. And let's just begin with what we want to discover today about children and their emotions. So, let's just start with understanding how are today's children. So, basically, because of the fast paced world, because of screens, because of less attention, because of quick responses, children today are growing up in a world that is very fast paced, it is highly stimulating, and it is academically demanding, it is socially complex, and it is also emotionally overwhelming. So, children struggle, dealing with their emotions. They don't understand how they are supposed to react, how they are um, supposed to tell their parents what they are feeling, how they are feeling. And in this socially complex world, parents focus on children's education more than they focus on their learning about emotions, about their self, about who they are, what they want to do, how they want to go about things. So, parents often focus on mathematics, language, sports, technology, everything related to academics and non-academics and extracurricular activities, but they rarely teach them how to understand and express their emotions. And as a result, many children feel big emotions, but they do not know what to do with them. So, feeling emotions is not a problem at all. Everyone feels emotions, and everyone feels big emotions, small emotions. Sometimes emotions come out in public places, sometimes they come out in safe spaces, sometimes sometimes children don't know what they are supposed to do when they are feeling a certain emotion, and parents usually forget to psychoeducate them about their emotions, about how to deal with those emotions. And that's what we'll be doing today. Today's session is all about emotional awareness and emotional understanding of children. So many parents usually, they when they come up to me and I receive queries, so they tell me that my child gets angry a lot and he gets angry over very small things, and my child starts crying over nothing, and he shuts himself down in his room, and I get all sorts of things, and they all, when I actually come down to think about it, it all comes down to everything is about emotions. So children are struggling these days to tell their parents how they are feeling, what they are feeling, and then their emotions come out as big behaviors, which becomes problematic for parents because they don't know how to deal with that behavior of their child. So the problem is often not the children don't have feelings. The problem is that they don't always know how to express them. So children feel more than they can tell. Usually, children don't have any mode or any means of communication to tell their parents what they're feeling, because many a time they don't have the less marks. They can tell their parents they scored high marks. They tell their parents that I don't understand what is happening in maths in my class. I don't understand this English passage. But they don't have the vocabulary to tell their parents what they are actually feeling. So a 5-year-old can feel disappointment, a 7-year-old can feel jealousy, a 10-year-old can feel shame, and a teenager can feel rejection. And all of those things will only be visible through their behavior. They will not be able to express themselves using their emotions. If a child is feeling disappointed, then they will just react in certain manner. When they are jealous, they might get very, very angry and they start hating their sibling if they are getting jealous because of them. And they start disliking them. They don't play with them. But the inner core feeling that they're experiencing is jealousy. And they don't know how to tell their parents if they will teenager is going through rejection, then they just lash back at the parents. They even shout at them sometimes, even hit them sometimes. That is a very common response these days with teenagers. They have started hitting their parents because they don't know how to express their emotions, how to tell their parents what they are actually going through and what they are feeling. So when children feel more than they can tell, their feelings often come out as anger, crying, defiance, withdrawal, tantrums, and irritability. And parents often question themselves that why my child is feeling this way? Why is he so angry? I don't know why he doesn't listen to me. I don't know why he doesn't want to go out with me. He just wants to sit in his room. And whenever we go out also, he's just throwing tantrums. He always becomes stubborn and he wants something from the market, from the mall. And it's better if he doesn't go out with me that way, because that way he's just throwing tantrums and he's irritating me as well as himself. So usually children are feeling all of those emotions, all of those things, and everything that they are feeling is just coming out through their behavior. And they have they don't know what to tell their parents. If they want something from the market, they they don't know how to tell their parents politely, because they have not learned that polite way till now. They know how they just know that if they will throw a tantrum, if they will be stubborn, then their demand will get fulfilled and they will get something that they want to have. So these are some of the signs that your child may be struggling emotionally. So basically, struggling emotionally does not mean that your child is struggling a lot or they are having some difficulty. It's just that they have not learned till now what are emotions, how to manage emotions, how to manage those emotions and get ahead of those feelings. Because we have always, as parents, everyone has always focused on teaching their children about everything, but they don't focus on teaching their child how to express those emotions, what to do when they have a big emotion, how to sit with an emotion, how to express their emotion in a way that does not create a big scene out of that emotion. So if your child is struggling emotionally, you will observe that they have frequent meltdowns, they have irritability, they have emotional outbursts. Emotional outburst means that they will have a very big emotion very suddenly, and you will end up questioning that what just happened, like why, what, it was not a big deal, what happened that he reacted so much. Then excessive crying, and when they start crying it becomes difficult to calm them down. Avoiding conversation. So if your child is a teenager, then they will definitely avoid conversations. They don't want to indulge in any difficult conversations, because they don't want to indulge in conversations because they know that behind those conversations are big emotions that they are just avoiding every day, and they don't want to face it now, because they don't know that when that emotion will come in front of them, how will they deal with that emotion. So they start withdrawing from their family because they don't want to They don't want to have that big conversations where they end up getting embarrassed, they end up getting feeling shameful, or they end up realizing that there is something that they have been avoiding for a longer time now. Then there is sudden aggression and physical complaints without any medical causes, like having a body pain or maybe having a headache. Like they will say that those things are very, they are very bigger things, and there will be no medical cause behind that physical complaint that they'll be doing. It is all happening because they are not able to express what they are feeling. They are not able to realize what they are feeling. They are not facing their emotions. They're not understanding their emotions, and they don't know how to do that also. So it is important to teach your child about emotional expression. But before teaching them about emotional expression, before we jump into how to make them aware of that emotional expression, it is important to understand what does emotional expression actually mean. So emotional expression is the ability. So we talk about emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand your own emotions, understand emotions of others, and basically having the ability to communicate those emotions properly, acknowledging your feelings and validating your feelings, and making sure that you know how to express those feelings when you are facing those big emotions. So emotional expression is the ability to identify what you are feeling, understand why you are feeling that way, communicate it appropriately, and seek support when needed. So a lot of times children, first of all, don't identify what they are feeling. They just show that in their behavior because they don't know what they are feeling. They don't know how they are feeling. They don't know what is happening inside them. They just know that they're feeling uncomfortable and they lash out and they show it in their behavior. When they don't know what they're feeling, they definitely don't understand why they're feeling that way. So the most important thing is making the child realize to identify that feeling, behind that behavior, what is the reason, what is the feeling that they're experiencing at that point, and then making them understand why they are feeling that way. So when they know when they are able to identify that feeling, when they're able to understand the reason behind that feeling, then they know how to communicate that feeling properly and appropriately. Like showing anger, throwing things, hitting is not the right way of telling anyone that they are angry. There are other ways to tell people that they are feeling angry. And when they communicate their feelings, they can seek support from their parents, from their siblings, from anyone in their family who is an adult or maybe even of their own age. Then they can tell them that I am having this feeling. I This is the reason, and I am telling this to you because now I feel that I need this support from you to manage this feeling that I'm having, because I don't want to ruin things by showing those feelings in my behavior. So for children, it is a developmental skill that needs to be taught and practiced. So like we teach our children to, walk, to run, to get on a swing, to go to school, to then learn and write and read. More than all of those things, it is very, very important to teach our children what they are feeling, why they are feeling, basically helping them understand their emotions and giving them a safe space and giving them a safe outlet to express their emotions. So parents usually avoid those conversations. They don't indulge in those conversations because they feel that it is something that the child will learn on his own. But children don't know what is right. Children don't know what is wrong. So it is important to teach emotions like a developmental skill to the child, like we teach reading, writing, and all the basic things, like we teach them how to eat their own food. So just as children learn reading and writing, they also need to learn the emotional language. So why is emotional expression important? We talked about what is emotional expression, but why is emotional expression so important that we are saying that it needs to be taught like reading and writing to a child? So children who can express emotions effectively are more likely to develop healthy self-esteem, build stronger relationships, show better emotional regulation, experience less anxiety, and resolve conflicts more effectively, develop resilience during stressful situations. So what all of those things mean? When a child is not able to express himself emotionally, they are they are basically suffocating themselves each day. They are feeling that they don't know what to do, they don't know why they are stuck in this situation. They start hating people around them, they don't like to be involved in relationships, they eventually stop talking to people, they don't like to go out, and they feel very anxious, and they end up having more fights with people around them. But when children are able to express themselves emotionally, then they have a very healthy self-esteem, because they know what they are feeling, they know what is behind that feeling, and they are able to communicate that feeling. So basically, if a child is having some issues with the parent, and they are able to identify that feeling, they're able to understand that feeling, and they are able to go and talk to their parents directly about that feeling, then there will be no confusion, there will be no problem, and the parent can also understand and realize that maybe because of me, the child is going through a lot of things, and I have to stop doing that. So when children are able to identify their feelings, when they're able to understand their feelings, the communication process becomes easier, and that's when there are lesser conflicts and there are better relationships. So when they have good self-esteem, when they have when they're able to communicate things, so they develop stronger relationships, they are able to better emotionally regulate themselves. So emotional regulation means that when you have identified your feelings, that you are feeling angry at that point of time, and you know that the reason behind that anger is something that happened with your parents. Now you know that being angry and being angry does not mean that you have to lash out, you have to throw things, you have to hit someone, or you have to just shout at people. You know that when you are angry, you have to calm yourself down. So that's the best way of handling your anger. So that's why when they are emotionally aware, they also know that during this emotion I can be better emotionally regulated and handle my own feelings. So they experience less anxiety, and whenever they have a conflict with someone in their family or in their friends, they are able to resolve those conflicts because they now know the reason behind those conflicts, the reason behind their emotions. That's why they are able to have a better communication, and they develop resilience during stressful situations also. So when we actually think about it, when a child is not able to express their emotions comfortably, when they're not able to express their emotions um, in a safe way, in a way that is acceptable, then all of the problems start coming from there. All of the conflicts, all of the bad relationship with parents, not having a good time at school, not having a good time with friends in neighborhood, or any kind of things, all of those are coming back to emotions only, because the child it doesn't know how to express emotion, and they don't know how to what is a safe way to tell their parents or tell their teachers or tell their friends what they're feeling. And that's why the behavior comes out instead of the emotion, and things take a bad turn. So, emotional expression or knowing about emotions, or the ability to understand emotions, is one of the strongest foundations of mental well being. So, if a child is aware of their emotions, they know how to manage it before escalating it towards something that is not good. So the parents have a very, very big myth about their children. They feel that if my child is upset, I need to stop that emotion. So a lot of parents, when the child is when a child is upset, when a child is crying, when a child is feeling sad, the resort that parents go to is that they just quickly want to stop that emotion. They don't like that their child is crying and they're howling and they're creating a scene, especially when they're in public place, and they anyway don't like when the child is crying. So parents immediately try to do certain things to stop that emotion completely. First thing that they do is they distract the child. They make the child um get involved in other things, due to which they think that the child will eventually stop crying. So they will show the child something that the child likes to do, some TV show, something in the phone, so that the child just immediately gets distracted and they stop crying at that point of time. Then the second thing they do is they try to correct that cry. They try to tell the child that it's that it was not a big deal. Just stop crying. Don't waste your big droplets of water. Don't do that. They try to fix it. They try to tell the child all kinds of things just to make them stop crying. They try to solve the problem in that point of time. So if, for example, the child uh, you know, fell down and they got hit, the parents, to make the child stop crying, the parents start telling them, like, let's just hit the table. The table hit you, na, so let's just hit the table. So that, because they think that the child is getting distracted and the child will then stop crying when they realize that we are hitting back the table. And then they try to lecture the children that, why are you crying? This was not such a big thing to cry on. You are such a weak child, and all sorts of things, because they just want the children to stop crying at that point of time. But the thing that parents don't realize is that emotion is not a problem. That emotion is an information. Emotion tells the parent what the child is trying to tell, what the child is feeling at that point of time, why the child is feeling hurt, why the child is crying. There is something that the child is trying to tell you when the child is crying. So when the children are stopped to, they're told to not do that particular thing, just to stop that emotion, they don't understand. They get confused. They don't understand why I cannot cry, why I cannot show my anger, or why am I not allowed to show my feelings. And eventually that thing becomes their pattern, and they think that expressing emotions is not a good thing. So whenever I cry, whenever I get angry, my parents try to stop me. That's why maybe next time I will not express my emotions in front of my parents, because they always try to stop me then and there. So this gives a message to their brain that they don't have to express their emotions. So eventually that thing just keeps increasing, and they don't understand their emotions. They don't identify their emotions, and they learn themselves to manage their emotions without getting to tell the parents what they are feeling. So this is a parent's myth that usually happens. So what the child is struggling behind, that emotion, is that they have very limited emotional vocabulary. So children know about emotions. It's not that they don't know about emotions, but they know that, I'm happy today, I'm sad today, I'm angry today. But they don't understand the other emotions that comes under these basic emotions, happy, sad, and angry. They don't understand that they are embarrassed. They don't understand that they are disappointed, or guilty, or rejected, or lonely, or nervous, or jealous. They don't have that emotional vocabulary. They don't have that emotional expression to communicate to their parents what they are feeling. So this is a child's biggest struggle, because they don't know how to tell their parents what they are feeling, because they don't have yet learned to identify that feeling. And the second thing is fear of reactions. So this what happens when the parents try to stop that emotion completely when the child is trying to express that emotion. Because so then they develop that fear of reaction, that when I will cry, my parents will react like this. When I will get angry, my parents will react like this. And when they get that reaction 1, 2, or 3, or maybe 10 times also, they know that this place, this person, this space is not safe for my emotions, and I will stop my emotions completely, and I will not express my emotions in front of my parents, because they give me a very big reaction on my emotions, and that makes me fearful. So children may think that mom will get angry, dad will be disappointed, and nobody will understand me. So they start choosing to remain silent. Instead of telling them what they are feeling, how they are feeling, they choose to be silent and not express their emotions at all, because they already know what their parents will tell them when they when they actually express their emotions, because parents get very overprotective, and they sometimes get very they just want to shut the emotion of their children, because they don't want the children to dwell on that feeling for a longer time. So third thing is emotional invalidation. So parents unknowingly do these things when their child is expressing some emotion. So they tell them to stop crying, be brave, ignore this feeling, and you are overreacting. So some point or the other, they end up saying these things to their children, or maybe something more, something less. That completely depends on the parents. But they are repetitively giving those messages to their children that your emotions are not getting validated. You are not getting any emotional validation for what you are feeling. So this gives the children a message to just suppress their emotions, and then the children also don't address that emotion for themselves. They just learn to suppress that emotions, and they just learn to get over with that feeling, and they don't try to understand what is actually happening with them also. So when they repeatedly get this message that you are a big boy, you're a brave boy, you should not cry, you should stop crying, and look at this, look what you got today, then why are you crying, it's not a big deal, and you always do this, you always overreact, whenever you come out you have to cry because you want something. So all of those things happen, and parents don't take that effort, um take those, if even if they are stopping them at that point of time to stop crying, like if they are in public place, they don't ask their child after going home what happened, what was he feeling at that point of time, why was he crying for a toy when he has that toy at home. There is something that is bothering the child, that is coming out in form of crying, and he's not able to tell the parents what that actual feeling is, because he doesn't have that emotional vocabulary to tell the parents what he wants to say, or what he actually is feeling about behind that crying. So what happens when emotions are suppressed? So basically children have now learned to suppress their emotions, because they were made to get distracted from that emotion. They were told to stop expressing their emotions. They did not have a safe space to express their emotions. So now when the children start repeatedly suppressing their emotions, they become emotionally reactive, which means that they express their emotions in a very reactive way. If something uh, very small also happens, they end up crying a lot for that, because now that is coming out as a reaction. It is not coming out as an emotion, it is coming out as an emotional reaction to a situation. Then they struggle with self regulation. So they keep on crying for so long that they don't know when to stop, how to stop. So after a point, even if you distract them, even if you try to fix it, even if you try to control it, the child will not stop crying, because they don't know now how to stop that emotion. They just know how to cry, but they don't know how to stop that emotion, how to regulate themselves. Then they experience increased anxiety. They develop a low self-esteem, because they are not dealing with their emotions on daily basis, they are not handling their emotions on a daily basis, and they are not getting a safe space. That's why they have a very low self-esteem. They have difficulty communicating their needs. They just show their needs through their behavior. They show that through hitting, anger, everything, but they don't tell their parents what they actually need. If they demand a car toy from their parents, they don't go and tell their parents that I need this toy, I need this car toy. They just show that thing through anger, that mujhe, I just want this, I want it now, I don't know how, I don't know when, I just want it. So that is how their emotion comes out, when it comes to an extreme level, and they have difficulty communicating their needs to their parents. And then they feel misunderstood. They feel that whenever they try to express their emotions, their parents just stop them, their parents just ignore them, and their parents just try to distract them. But nobody tells them what to do, nobody tells them how to manage those feelings. And basically they feel that nobody understands them. So suppressed emotions often return through behavior. So It is not like if the emotion is suppressed, it will not come out. Suppressed emotions usually come out through behavior, and those behaviors are something that bothers the child as well as the parent in later phases, because they feel that that behavior is so extreme that they don't know how to deal with that behavior. So what are the common parenting responses that usually takes place? And parents do come up with these responses without even realizing it. It has just become a part of their normal routine. So whenever they see an emotion, they give they try to give an advice that just ignore this emotion, just ignore what you're feeling. Don't get so affected by it. Don't get so affected by your friend, don't get so affected by your cousin. You just ignore it. Okay, you don't have to be affected by everything. So then there is dismissal. That is, it is not a big deal. Why are you reacting like this? Why are you behaving like this? Why you are getting so angry or so sad about this thing? It's not a big deal. Then comparison. So look at your brother, look at your friend, look at your sister. They are handling their emotions so well. Why can't you do it? Why you have to shout? Why you have to cry all the time? Then immediate problem solving. So they will not listen to what the child is saying. They will not listen to what the child is feeling. They just want to correct that behavior immediately. So the child is feeling angry or the child is feeling sad and they're crying, so they will just try to fix it. That okay, okay, stop crying, don't cry, it's okay, let's just stop. And don't show so much anger, it's not good. So they don't understand the feeling, the emotion. They just want to stop that emotion at that point of time. And then criticism, that you are too sensitive, you are not a brave boy, you are not a brave girl. Brave girls don't cry like this. You are an adult, you have become a big boy now. Why you have to cry for these small things? So these responses can make the children feel unheard. They feel that whenever they are trying to whenever they have a big emotion, whenever their emotions come out, their parents only know one thing, that they have to stop that emotion, and they don't address the reason, the feelings, and the why behind that emotion. So they always get a signal that it is not good to express your emotions, and they eventually start suppressing those emotions, because they know that whenever that big feelings will come out, their parents will try to stop it. So what children need instead? So we need to understand what children actually want when they are expressing those big feelings, when they have those big emotions. So they need connection before correction. They don't need to know um, they don't need to know that you know stop behaving like this, just correct your behavior, stop crying, you are a big boy, you don't be too sensitive. They don't need this correction. They need a connection. They need their parents to sit, to talk, to understand why they are feeling certain things. So before teaching, before solving, before disciplining, they just need understanding. They just need their parents to understand why they are crying, why they are being angry, why they have so big emotions, what are they actually feeling, what has happened in their environment, what is bothering them. They just need that understanding. They don't need any kind of teaching and any kind of stopping of that emotion. So when a child feels emotionally safe, they become more open to guidance. So when they know that they can express their emotions, this place, this platform, this parent is safe, and I can talk to them, I can tell them what I'm feeling, then they also understand when the parents are trying to tell them that what they have to do about that emotion. So then they are open to guidance. But when they are made to stop about for that emotion, when they are told that you are not supposed to feel like this, you are not supposed to be crying for this, then they just resent a lot. They react a lot. They feel that if my parents are trying to stop me, then I will have a bigger reaction for this. And how dare they have a feeling, how dare they try to stop my emotion. And then we need to learn to how to raise children who are emotionally strong. because when emotion because emotionally strong children does not mean that a child who never cries. It just means that the child who knows that when they are crying, why they are crying. They know that behind that crying is an emotion that they're experiencing. So they need to recognize their emotions, they need to express their emotions appropriately. They can ask for support from their parents, from their elders, from their siblings, from their teachers, and they can recover from those setbacks and develop self awareness. So emotional strength comes from understanding emotions and not avoiding them. So raising emotionally strong children mean that we are not dismissing their emotions. We are not telling them that you cannot be sad, you cannot be angry. We are just trying to tell them the right means of getting angry, the right means of being sad. But after we understand that they why they're feeling that way and that they have recognized that emotion, and then we tell them how to express those emotions in an appropriate way. And when they are having a very very big feeling and they cannot handle that feeling, they can always ask for support from people around them. So let's just focus on the emotion coaching approach and step by step understand what we need to do when our child is having a big emotion, when our child is crying or being angry or being stubborn. What is exactly that we need to do instead of making them stop at that point of time? So first is notice your child. So what your child is going through right now, what is his or her emotional state. So you need to observe your child's emotional state before giving any kind of reaction, before telling them anything. Just notice what your child is feeling. Then second thing is validate. So sometimes children just need to know that whatever they are feeling is okay for them to feel, because they are feeling something very strongly. So if they are feeling jealous, it is okay for them to feel jealous, and it is okay for them to cry or be angry with that jealousy. It is completely okay. And when when you have validated their emotions, when you tell them that, I know it is difficult for you, I know that you are very sad right now, I know that you are going through a difficult time right now, then you help your child label that emotion that they're feeling. So you tell them, when you have validated that child's feeling, you help them label that feeling, that what is that feeling, what is something that they are experiencing, and what is the why behind that feeling. So you tell them that, it sounds like you are disappointed, it looks like you are sad, so you are going through a sad phase right now, or maybe you are crying because you are feeling too sad right now. And then you offer support by telling that, I'm here for you, you can talk to me, and we will sort this out together, and you don't need to worry, and we will always be here to guide you through your emotions. And then you go on to solving the problem, because now the child has understood their emotion, they know what they are feeling, they know that they have support which is available from you. So now they can focus on solving that problem. Otherwise, if you just jump on solving that problem, they don't jump with you, because they are in that moment, they are in that emotion, they are feeling it very strongly, and they cannot just jump like that. So then we ask the child that, what do you think we can do about this thing, or how do you want to handle this emotion, what do you want to do next about it? And then they are able to better understand and better able to answer um, something that they're actually feeling. So, what we have to do as parents is bringing very simple shifts in our everyday conversations, because we have a pattern of conversations right now, and it is difficult to move away from that pattern, because we have received that pattern from our parents, and we are carrying that on with our children. But if we make that simple shift in our pattern, and if we just change our way of communicating to children, then there will be definitely a change in their emotional regulation also. So instead of saying don't cry, we can just say, I can see you are upset. So you are not telling them to stop crying, you are not stopping that emotion. You are just telling them that, I know that you are crying, I can see that you are crying, I can see that you are upset. Then instead of saying calm down, you can just say that, I'm here with you, it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. We will, I will help you come out of this emotion, we will be together in this thing. And instead of saying it's not a big deal, we can just say that, that felt like a big deal to you. Because sometimes what a big deal is for you, it is not a big deal for your child. for a child will never be a big deal for an adult, because adult is looking at things from their point of view, and child is looking at things from their point of view. So for them, a very small thing that we feel that is a small thing can be a very big deal for them. So we don't have to dismiss that feeling that it's not a big deal. We just have to tell them that yes, I understand that it is a big deal for you, and then we can work on it together by telling them that okay, now let's just sit down and think about what we can do for this big deal that you are having right now, what you want to do about this thing. So when we do small language shifts, it creates emotional safety for children. They know that their parent is with them. They know that their parent will support them, will help them come out of that feeling. They will not just dismiss their feeling by telling them to stop crying, to just stop throwing things, to do not be angry, do not be stubborn about this thing. So the first thing that as parents you can do is introduce your child to an emotional weave. So basically, they know that they are sad, angry, happy, crying, but the inner feeling, the feeling that is connected with that feeling, the reason behind that feeling, they don't understand. So there are a lot of feelings, that a lot of emotional vocabulary that your child does not have right now. So if they're feeling sad, they can also be this the reason behind that sadness could be hurt or could be unhappy. When they're feeling angry, the reason behind that anger could be that they are frustrated, or because there is a lot of criticism. The reason behind happy can also mean that they are confident, or they are feeling very joyful about something. The reason behind fear could be that they're very anxious, or they are very cautious. Right. So first, it is very important to make them understand what they're actually feeling. If they're feeling happy, what is going behind that happiness? What is you know um the actual reason, the actual emotion that they're feeling when they're feeling happy, or what is the actual emotion that they're feeling when they're feeling angry. And the emotion wheel helps children understand that there are many emotions within a single feeling. So emotions are not just about being happy, angry, sad. When angry can also mean being frustrated, it can also mean being annoyed, it can also mean being irritated or hurt. And sad can also mean, that the child is feeling lonely, or they are disappointed about something, they are feeling rejected about something, or they are maybe feeling guilty about something. So they need to understand that it is not a bigger emotion. There are smaller emotions inside that bigger emotion that they are feeling, and it is very important to uncover that smaller emotion in order to work on that emotion. If they're feeling sad is a very big term. Why they are feeling sad, or what is they are feeling inside that sadness, is what we have to work on. So if they are feeling scared, then maybe they are nervous, or they are worried. They could be nervous on going on a stage, but they could be worried for their exams, or they are maybe feeling insecure that someone who scores good will do better. So that scaredness is now not linked to them. That scaredness is linked to the other person now, and they could be embarrassed also. So it is very important to identify the smaller feeling inside that bigger feeling, in order to, be able to work on that feeling and to just increase the emotional vocabulary of your child. So the more emotions children can name, the easier it becomes for them to communicate those emotions. And when children can label emotions that they're feeling, they can often feel less overwhelming. So it is whenever you tell the child that you are feeling this way, or this is an emotion that you are experiencing, and you try to name that emotion for your child, the child also learns to label those emotions, and they end up feeling less overwhelmed when they realize what they were actually feeling. Sometimes they don't know what they're feeling, and that just comes out in their behavior. But when they actually realize what they're feeling, when they're able to focus on the labeling of that emotion, they end up feeling less overwhelmed. They end up then getting focused on that emotion, and not focused on what they were supposed to react in that emotion. So understand the emotion. Once a child identifies an emotion, it is important to help them explore by asking them certain questions. As so when they know that they are feeling frustrated, we have identified that feeling, that the child is feeling frustrated. So what happened in that situation? What happened in that situation? that they are feeling frustrated, what made them feel frustrated today, and where are they feeling frustrated in their body, and has this happened before with them. So by asking certain questions, we are just giving them a chance to think about that emotion, to understand that emotion, because sometimes children actually end up getting frustrated on something that they're not supposed to be getting frustrated on, but they don't understand them because they have not digged deeper into that feeling, because they don't know how to dig deeper into that feeling. So that's why parents need to help their children dig deeper into that feeling, to actually make them realize that why are they feeling this way. So a lot of times children come to me and they tell me that, my parent loves my brother or sister more than me. This is a very, very, very common concern, that my parents love my sibling more than they love me. And when I make them sit, when I make them understand that emotion that they're feeling jealous of their sibling, and when I ask them certain questions, that why you feel that way, that don't your parents go out with you, don't they make you buy the same things and things like that. When they answer no to those things, they actually end up feeling that, it's not like that, my parents love me also, but they are not able to realize that love. They are just able to see the love that they have for the sibling, because they have a jealousy factor. And when we make them sit, when we make them realize that emotion, when we make them understand that emotion by asking certain questions, they end up saying that no, I was, that feeling was a very big feeling, and no, that's not true, my parents also love me. So it happens that, my examples are like that, I am angry because my friend didn't play with me, I am nervous because tomorrow is my exam, I am sad because I miss my grandmother. So this all happens when they are able to answer certain questions, so they know that why are they feeling angry now, why are they feeling nervous now. Otherwise they were just feeling anxious, they were just feeling very scared, but they were not able to realize that why are they feeling that way, what is the reason behind that emotion. So now after asking them certain questions, we have made them understand that emotion and the reason behind that emotion, and this develops emotional awareness and self understanding. So when this becomes a pattern, when this becomes something that the parents are doing on a regular basis, then children know that they have to do this thing with themselves also. So if you have an elder child, like they know how to question themselves, then they will start questioning their emotions on their own, to make to just go deeper and deeper into that emotion, to make themselves realize why are they feeling that way. Then there are healthy ways to respond to an emotion. So children need to learn, first they need to understand and need to learn that all emotions that they are going through are acceptable, but not all behaviors are acceptable. So what does this statement mean? It means that if they're feeling angry, it is okay to feel angry. If they're feeling sad, it is okay to feel sad. If they want to cry, it is okay to cry. But the behavior that they are showing during those emotions, those behaviors are not acceptable. So for example, it is okay to feel angry, but it is not okay to hit someone. So if you're feeling angry, that is your emotion, it is okay. But if you're hitting someone out of that anger, it is a behavior. And those behaviors that are associated with those emotions, they are not okay. So they need to learn that there are healthy ways to respond to emotion, and the ways that they have chosen to respond are not healthy, and they cannot show that behavior because of a particular emotion. So if they are feeling sad, it is okay. But if they're throwing things in that sadness, it is not okay. If they are feeling frustrated, it is okay. But if they're screaming at others, then it is not okay. So the goal is not to stop the emotions. The goal is to just teach them healthy expression, because stopping the emotion will just make them suppress the emotion. We have to address that emotion, but we also have to tell them and teach them basically healthy expressions of that emotion. So how can we actually teach children? So what we can what we can teach children when they are feeling angry is to take deep breaths. We can tell them to squeeze a stress ball. We can tell them to draw their feelings, move their body, count slowly, and use words instead of action. So they can tell the parents some words that they are associating with anger right now, and we can just teach them to take deep breaths and how they can draw their feelings or maybe write their feelings. So all of those things will not work with every child. You have to figure out what works with your child, how they can understand certain things, what works best for them when they are experiencing certain kind of emotions. So these are some of the common ways or some of the things that are general, and you can pick things from here which you can modify in your own way by your own means and according to your child to help them express their emotions in a more healthy way. So when then what can you do when your child is feeling sad? So you can tell them that you can talk to a trusted adult. You can cry if you want to cry. You can draw or write in your journal that why are you feeling that way, what happened. Then you can seek comfort and connection. So if you want to cry, it's okay. I will you can just come hug me and you can cry with me. Like you can cry in my arms. It's okay that if you want to cry. And then you can engage in calming activities. Like you can just color something, or maybe if at that point of time if you want to watch something on TV, if you want to talk to someone, if you want to talk to a friend, then that's also okay. Then what they can do when they're feeling worried, so they can do belly breathing, they can do grounding exercises, they can do positive self-talk, and they can if because a lot of times children are worried mostly because of their exam pressure, school pressure, and when they have procrastinated for a longer time and they end up not doing something and they wait for the last moment to complete a thing, usually they are worried at that point of time. So we can tell them to divide. So they are worried, but they are not able to focus on the problem and to focus on solving that problem. So we can tell them to write those things that are making them worry and what is the big thing, how they can divide that big thing into smaller steps that by just doing things one by one. So if, for example, they have an exam in the upcoming week and they have not prepared for it at all and now they're feeling worried, so we can just tell them that you still have a lot of time, and how we can work on focusing on reading at least 2 pages per day so that by the time your exams come, you are prepared for it and you are not just worrying about it. And then they can always ask for support. Then what they can do when they're feeling frustrated is that they can take a short break. Like if they're frustrated after studying a lot and they don't know what to do, or maybe they're frustrated after doing a lot of things, so they can just take a short break of 15 minutes maybe, and they can watch something, they can watch some good a good show, one episode of a show. They can maybe watch something funny, they can sleep for 15 minutes, they can eat something. So they can do all of those things. They can obviously ask for help and they can try again later. So when a child is frustrated, at that point they have tried something for a longer time and they end up not doing it because now they are frustrated. So they are not able to use their skills because they are tired now. So they can obviously take a break and they can try that thing again after some time, and they can use their problem solving skills also. So remember that when your child is expressing emotions, you don't have to rush to fix that emotion. You don't have to rush them teach what they have to do. Just help them recognize that emotion, to name that emotion, to make them understand that emotion, and then choose a healthy response. When we directly jump to choosing a healthy response or directly jump to telling them that no, you are not supposed to feel this, no, you are not supposed to do this, then they never understand what they were feeling. They never understand the reason behind their feeling. And then the only thing that they know that they will do out of fear of your reaction is suppress that emotion and never tell it to you. So you need to follow the steps and help them recognize that emotion so that they can come to choosing a healthy response for that emotion. And everyday things that you can do at home to encourage emotional expression. We talked about what you have to do to make your child learn emotional expression, and now these are some of the everyday things that you can do as family together. And you can sit down and do those daily rituals with your child. First can be family emotional check-ins. So like you can make them just randomly ask what made you smile today, what made you happy today, what made you frustrated today, why were you crying today, what was the most difficult part of your day. difficult thing today, what was the most easy thing today. So it does not have to be only about things that are not good about their day. It emotional check-in means that they also have to express their happy feelings. They also need to tell you what made them happy today, what they made them proud today of themselves, what made them proud to towards their family or towards their siblings. So it is not just about them, it is also about people around them, like their family members, their siblings. So they have a love for them also, and there is not a jealousy factor that they are carrying with them. Then model emotional expression. So instead of telling your child that, I'm fine, I'm good, you can actually tell them what you are feeling, what you are experiencing, what emotions you have right now, so that they know that it is okay to express those emotions. It is okay to feel uh it is okay to feel tired, it is okay to have a stressful day, so that they learn from you that no, it is not always necessary to be happy. It You can be sad, you can be tired, you can be drowsy on a particular day also. So children learn emotional language by observing adults. So the more you tell them honestly what you're feeling, the more they know about emotions, and the more they develop emotional vocabulary for things, for emotions that they are experiencing. Then you can use stories and play. So a lot of times stories and play act the best when a child is having difficulty to express emotions. So you can just read a book to them, you can read a story to them about somebody who was feeling sad, who was experiencing something at school, who was experiencing something at home. You can always create stories. You can use art activities with them, because sometimes children express a lot of emotions through art and family discussions, and you just have to create natural opportunities for them to discuss their emotions, so that they don't feel that expressing emotions or saying something out loud is a big deal. So thank you so much. That was my part of the presentation. If there's anything that you want to ask me, then you can just tell me.
Right. Everyone can type their questions in chat box. It is open. Uh, Meanwhile, I'll just conclude. Thank you everyone for joining in for today's session and being part of this meaningful conversation. And as we conclude today's session, we hope that you have taken something from this discussion, right? Valuable insight into understanding what children go through, their challenges, their emotions, their feelings. And sometimes, as Jessica mentioned, that it is very important to understand that how they express their feelings, what they are facing, and disciplining them and learning about academics is as important. I know that, but helping the child understand what they're feeling as well is also as important as other extra things. So yes, for the parents who are watching this, we hope that expertise have given some insights into how you can help your child deal with emotions. And a sincere thank you to you, Jessica. It was a wonderful session. Thank you for bringing your insight into today's session. It was truly valuable. And before we sign off, we would encourage you to explore Positivity platform. So Jessica will be sharing her screen to show you the platform around. If you or your loved ones are looking for professional mental health support, please do check out our website. So this is our website.
Yeah, so this is the website, positivity.com. And if you want to book a session, then you can just click on the psychologist. And if you want to book a session with me, then you can, I don't know why it's not visible. Yeah, it's just gone. So you can just scroll down, and if you want, you can just check out all the psychologists, and you can book a session. And I'll just show you my profile. So this is my profile, and you can just click here and choose the duration and book a session with me if you're having any difficulty dealing with your child or anything that you want to discuss.
Right. All right. Thank you once again for your time and participation. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend ahead, and we'll see you in our future sessions. Bye bye.